In this video, I'm going to show you how to delete a record in MainSmart cmms software. I'll begin by going to the work order screen. I'll notice that when the screen opens, I have the data grid, and each one of these rows represents an individual work order. If I select a row and click delete, I'll notice in this case it's telling me my delete was canceled. Please go to the inventory use screen and manually delete any inventory records that are linked to this work order. Okay, in this case we have records that are linked to the work order, so it's not going to be so simple. Let me come back to this one in a moment. Let's try another one. Let's try this one. I'll go ahead and select it, the left mouse click the delete button, and I get warned about it, and I'll say yes, and now it's gone. Now, note that when you delete something in MainSmart, as within any database management type program, it's a permanent delete, so it's gone for good. There's no undo in this case. So let's go back to our other work order that had some items linked to it. And again, we click delete. It prompted us with the standard prompt, and then it brought up another one that said, well, you have some other records linked to this. So if we were to delete this, it would leave the inventory that was used against this work order orphaned, and we don't want that, and that's wouldn't be good. Leave orphans in the database, which is never desirable. So in this case, I'll just take note of the work order number. It's 317. I'll go to my inventory use screen, and I'll select the row that's linked to work order 317, delete it, and what this is going to do when I delete an inventory used record, it's going to automatically put the parts back into stock, so I don't have to worry about that. Okay, now let's go back to our work order screen and see if we can delete this. And indeed we can. So that's how you delete a record in MainSmart. Now, there are other issues to consider when you're deleting more of the low-level data. So consider the situation where you had a piece of equipment, and in this case you have this 90-degree roller bed, and we wanted to remove it from the system because it's retired, or we've moved it to another location, or whatever the case may be. If we just go into our equipment setup screen and just simply try to delete this, what's going to happen is the program's going to try to delete everything that was ever associated with that piece of equipment. That means all work orders, all PMs, all downtime, everything. And that's how databases work. They do that in order to keep their indexes correct and lined up properly so that the program runs fast and is reliable, and most of all, doesn't leave orphans in the system. Okay, so how would we deal with a situation like this? Well, there's a couple ways we could do it. First of all, let me go to the equipment setup screen, and I'll find that piece of equipment. Let's just see what happens when I try to delete it. Notice I'm on the Equipment Items tab. I selected the row for the 90-degree roller bed. I'll click Delete, and it says Delete Permission Denied, Set Program Option, Allow Cascade Delete, and try again. Okay, what's that? Okay, well, with some of the low-level data items, such as technicians or mechanics, whatever you're calling them, equipment, processes, lines, some of the items that if you deleted it could potentially affect a lot of other data in the program. In those cases, there's a safety built in to the program configuration screen under the Settings menu item. Allow Cascade Deletes. Now what this will do in some manner is allow you to delete the low-level data items. Now it won't always allow you to delete all low-level data items. For example, if I still try to delete this, okay, I didn't get that same message. Notice I got a different one. But it's saying you may need to manually delete all these records that are linked to that equipment. Well, that sounds like that might be a bit of a project. And besides, I don't think I really want to lose all that data because that's history that I may use later for other purposes. So the best thing to do in this case would be go ahead and leave this record selected, and then just uncheck the In Use checkbox and click Save. Now that will take this equipment out of all the active drop-down lists, but if we need to go back and look at this. Perhaps we're buying another piece of equipment similar to this. We want to determine the reliability of it in the past. We may want to keep this. And plus, it makes it a lot easier just to remove it without actually deleting it. Okay, so we did click the Allow Cascade Deletes. Let's see if we can delete something else. Okay, and this is telling me, do you want to delete this? Well, apparently this one's not linked to any other work orders or downtime or what have you. And we did check the Allow Cascade Deletes as a program administrator, and they're the only ones that can do this. So it's going to go ahead and let us delete this equipment item. So that's how you delete various data items in MateSmart.